Optimization. Maria and Marco, take it away.
Thanks, Seth. First of all, a legal notice. What we're going to show today is also part of SP1 for TrueSight Capacity Optimization 11.5. So because of that, part of this information is under legal notice. So please do not share for now part of this with the person that are not authorized to receive this information. But the Service Pack 1 will be available soon, so stay tuned. Why you should care about the new ETL Development Kit for TrueSight Capacity Optimization and what we are going to show you today. First, the reasoning for having the ETL Development Kit for TrueSight Capacity Optimization. So this is a part of a strategic initiative related to platform modernization, which we have embraced since TrueSight Capacity Optimization 11.5 release. And the fact that we have introduced a new ETL Development Kit also represents a better alignment with some DevOps initiatives so that developers, in this case, can use their own editor to create custom ETL and use their preferred IDE for code editing. And also, it does provide better support for the DevOps life cycle. So you may have, a problem related to compatibility with external version control system for sources, and then compilation and packages spaces can be automated in the DevOps tool. In addition to that, the EDK, so from now on we'll be using the acronym EDK from ETL Development Kit in this presentation. We'd also offer flexibility and openness, so you can build your own custom ETL using the IDE and source management of your choice. In addition to that, the reasoning for having this new development kit for ETLs was the fact that we decided to drop support for developing custom ETL modules in Perl language in Integration Studio. So Integration Studio will now support development for custom ETL modules in Perl languages in TrueSight Capacity Optimization 11.5 and above. What we are going to show today and why. So the ETL Development Kit is a new command line utility that can be used to create custom connectors using the IDE and source management of your choice by leveraging both Java and Perl languages. It is scriptable for DevOps integration. It is also easy to integrate with any conversioning. That's what you are going to get today with this session. So what we will be showing you first, we get an overview of the ETL Development Kit itself. Then you will get a demo about how to use it. And then we will be having a short Q&A at the end. In the meantime, you can feel free to submit your question within the Q&A window or the chat window in the session directly. The ETL Development Kit really allows you to build a custom ETL using the IDE and source management of your choice. Previously, until 11.5 and before, the Integration Studio was available as IDE based on Eclipse and supports Java and Perl development of custom ETLs. Starting from 11.5.0 and above, we have introduced, in addition to the Integration Studio, which also supports creation of advanced report template in BERT, the new ETL Development Kit, which is a CLI-based utility that is able to create, package, activate, and deactivate custom ETL modules. It does support Java and Perl languages. It is scriptable for DevOps integration. Developers can use preferred IDE, and it's also easy to integrate with any conversioning system. The ETL Development Kit is, as I said, a utility, and we recommend to use that to develop, in addition to develop your custom ETL in both languages such as Java and Perl. also given the fact that we have dropped the support for Perl in the Integration Studio. There are some prerequisites that needs to be satisfied to be able to use this utility. In version 11.5, we have released the first version of this command line utility, and the prerequisites were having Java JDK 1.8 or later, and the Apache Hunt 1.7 or later for compiling Java projects. In 11.5.01, we have simplified the requirements, so the only requirement is to have Java JRE or JDK 1.8 or later. How does it work? I mean, which will be the workflow that can be leveraged by using the ETL Development Kit in TrueSight Capacity Optimization? First, you will need to download the utility from the UI. So in the Home tab within the TrueSight Capacity Optimization console under Tools, you will find a new entry which will be allowing you to download the utility. Once you do that, you can start creating your project, and then you will be able also to compile your project for Java only and create your project package. At this point, I mean, those three actions were already covered in 11.5, which is the current GA version of the product. In 11.5.01, which will be available soon, we will be also covering the additional two activities that are activate and deactivate the new ETL module. So you will be able to directly make the new modules available within your TrueSight Capacity Optimization database, and of course in the console UI to create new ETL packages. At this point, from the time that you activate the module, you will be able to import the new ETL package, and then start configuring the new ETL to use the module and import data of your interest. As I said, the workflow for EDK, the focus on activate and deactivate is really the part that we added in 11.5.01, which will be available soon. And those two commands really allows you to make the new module available for use in TrueSight Capacity Optimization console. Here, the point is that you will need to leverage a particular new role that we have introduced to really be able to do those actions, and then also generate an API key which allows to have the rights to be able to run those two actions. With that, I will be passing the ball to Marco for the demo. Thanks, Marco.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great. Can you make me presenter now?
Can you do it?
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So thank you everybody for joining this meeting. So I'm Marco Bertoli from the TrueSight Capacity Optimization development team. So the demo I'm going to show today is about starting right from the beginning. And we have this first environment that I'm showing right now that is a development environment. In this case, you can see it here. It's marked as dev on the top bar. And the first thing the user is expected to do is download the EDK. So if you go in the Tools section, you can download the ETL Development Kit from this link here. And it's downloading now on my system. I just want to show everything that you have to do, even the steps that will just be done the first time, and then you can, of course, keep it. You don't have to do them again. So I'm creating, let's use COETL. You can use whatever folder name you like. So in this case, I created a COETL folder. And now I'm going to put the contents of the file that I downloaded from CO directly there in this new CO ETL folder. So right now I can already start to do something. By the way, I'm using Windows, of course, as was already mentioned. This tool can work also on Linux, and it's easy to use it to integrate into DevOps pipeline. So I'm going to the CO ETL folder, and you can see also in my system I installed Java runtime version 1.8, nothing more than that. That is already enough to be able to use the ADK. So if you see, CO ETL is already giving me the list of all the possible commands. Before going on, I am also going to do another step here that is an administration step that I should be done by a CO administrator the first time, that is authorizing this machine to activate and deactivate ETL. To do that, you can simply go in the roles section of your CO installation, and you can look for the out-of-the-box role called ETL editor, this one, that is shipped within the product. And I can generate an API key that can be used to authorize my machine to activate and deactivate ETL. You can also use other roles for this, so this is, it's important that you have this activity custom ETL deployment as part of the role. That is the one required by ADK to work. So I'm generating the API key. By default, it's valid up to 30 days, so you can generate it also without expiration if you want. So I'm generating it. And then the only additional step I'm going to do is copy this credential.key file into the ADK folder. And this will be basically the default credential that will be used by the command, so I can call all the commands without providing credential. We will see later how can I also use multiple credentials on the same installation. But starting right now, the first thing I want to do is to create a new Java ETL. So I will say CO ETL -1 create extractor Java ACME, for example. So we are just creating an ACME extractor for our project, and that's it. So we already in this folder, COTL ACME, we already created the tool already created a project for us. So we can go and look at this. Of course, you can also use another path. You are not forced to pass a path inside the COTL folder. I just did it because it was easier for me. So source main Java, ETL, extractor. We have this skeleton of ETL that was created already by the tool that we can modify. So right now I will just do a set of very small changes. So I will basically do an ETL that will just log its execution and terminate just for the purpose of this demo. So this is enough. And I will also say here something like v1 minus extracting data from data source. We will see later on why I place this v1 just for demo purposes again.
Sounds like Marco might have lost his audio, so let's just give him 30 seconds to get back in.
Yep.
So Maria, maybe you can entertain.
Oh, okay.
Entertain the crowd. Do you have any stories, jokes?
Well, I can have, yeah, I can have something. Okay. Let me share.
No, I think he's He's getting in there. I see him putting in the code. So, and let's see.
It always happens with live demos. So we are true live. We are doing very true live demo.
So he seems. I see him putting in the code there. So it sounds like he's. I'm keeping an eye out to see if he joins. All right. So Marco. Oh, there he is. Marco, we got you back.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
So I'm very sorry for this. I hope it doesn't happen again. Okay, so as I was saying, I created my first ETL package. Now I want to continue, and the first thing I will do is compile. So I will compile ACME, that is the name of the folder where I placed my ETL. And this is compiling, of course. If I had some compilation error, I would be prompted for them. Then next step will be packaging it. And this will create basically an ETL package that could be uploaded in the system. And if you add version 11.5 of CO, this is up you can reach with the ADK. But since we are also previewing what we introduce in Service Pack 1, so 11.5 Service Pack 1, we can see that we can do additional stuff here starting from the command line, basically replacing everything you could do with Integration Studio. So now we are also going to activate this ETL to the command line. So I will say COETL -- activate, and I will pass the ETL package as a parameter. So this is using the credential.key file that I placed before to activate the ETL in the environment. Of course, not everybody will be able to activate an ETL, but only the person that were trusted with a set of credentials. So if now I switch to this development environment and I go in the ETL task page, I can try to create an instance of this ETL. So if I do add ETL, and inside the ETL module window, I go at the bottom, I have this ACME extractor module. Of course, we didn't customize any of this. As you see here, it's quite a bad name that is provided out of the box, but we'll see later on how we can also do additional customization step on this ETL. Now I'm saving it, and now I can run the active configuration. It's in simulation mode. I don't care because I don't need to import any data. I just wanted to show you that the ETL is running, the ETL that we just created together in very few steps. And it's right in the line that we saw before, with V1 extracting data from data source. Okay, now of course we want to do things slightly more complex. And we should iterate more. So we did basically what was an hello world. Now we want to do something better with this code. The first thing we want to do is customizing the name of the module because we don't like the one that was provided by default. So we had this file that is called module.properties that can be used for this level of customization. So we can call this, for example, ACME configuration data extractor. The reason why I'm choosing this name is basically this ETL was supposed to load the configuration data. As you see here, there is the list of data sets that is loaded. If you want to know this identifier, you can look in the list of, in the administration page of CO. I also want to customize some, give some runtime customization properties to this ETL. For example, I want to enable the user to specify which is the URL I should connect to. So I will create here a new parameter called extract.url, and this is the URL I should connect to. URL for connection. it's a string parameter, and we can also give a default like, I don't know, http://acme.com, and it's required true. Okay, so we did this small customization. Now let's go and use this URL inside the module. So I'm just copying this. I open again the Acme module. What I want to do is simply storing and displaying this information. So I'm gonna store this. Here I will say URL is equal to cf.get. Right now, just to be fast, I'm using Notepad. You can use whatever IDE you like, Eclipse, IntelliJ IDEA, or something for Perl, ETL. Of course, the structure of the folder is quite standard.
See if I can get, oh, here he goes. Oh boy, I am so sorry, folks, about this. But I will try. I have submitted a ticket with our internal IT help desk to figure out how we can better manage audio on our sessions going forward. So I will wait until he's back in and then make him a presenter again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I was going to try to do a quick poll of the audience while he's connecting to see how many people were currently on 11.5 or were on their way to 11.5. So, but he's back. So let me bring him back and unmute him. All right, Marco, you're back and you're unmuted.
Okay, thank you. And again, sorry, I don't know what's happening today with the line. So the thing I want to show now is, of course, I can upgrade this package. So the first thing I will do is compile the new version of the package and using the same command as before. Now, hoping that I didn't introduce any bug, and no, it's compiling fine. So then I can package it. I can activate it again. So I'm just looking at previous command in the history because, as you understand, they are always the same. So if I simply go here now in the task details and I edit the task, we can see that, sorry, I didn't press F11, so I open the wrong editor. I should edit the run configuration that is here. Okay, you can see that we already have the new name after configuration data structure. You can also see that we have this URL that we decided, and we can also change it. So I added a V2 at the end of it, just to do a modification. And then I can run the active run configuration of this ETL. So if we see in the log, Basically now we have the new log line v2 extracting from the URL that we entered before. So now we saw also how we can customize the name of the ETL and also provide some parameter to the module. The additional thing I want to show you is how to promote this ETL to the production environment, because at this point we are ready for development and we want to go in production. So for that we connect to a different environment. And this is our production environment in our demo. You can see it from the prod tag here at the top. And since I was authorized to use the development environment, but not the production environment, of course, I need also an authorization, an API key for the production environment. So the flow is the same. In the production environment, I need to create an API key that can upload ETL, and I can generate it. Just changing the date because this environment have a date fixed in the past. And the date, the API key is downloaded, this version.1. So I will call it prod to avoid confusing it. And just to make it easier for me, I will simply copy it in the COETL folder, but I could leave it anywhere I like. So the only thing I want to do now is activate it in a different environment. So if I look at the COETL command line, just to remember, there is the possibility to specify a different API key. So I will say API key .key, and then I will activate using the same module that I activated before, that is this one. So this is without any change, without opening the package in any external tool and so on, I can promote the package to the production environment with this command line. Okay, it's telling me that the module was created successfully in the production environment. So here I'm expecting that if we go in and we try to create a new ETL in production environment, now we will be able to access the ACME module in the version that we promoted, so what was version 2.0. You see that it's here, ACME configuration instructor. To select the dataset, file identity catalog, and custom property. If we want to, we can also customize it, prod. Okay, so now we can run this ETL.
Again, thank you for bearing with us, everybody. I'm truly sorry for the terrible connection here.
I think maybe the demo part should be done. So.
All right. Well, while we wait for him to see if Marco's got more he wants to say.
Okay.
I've not seen any Q&A. I've not seen any questions come through Q&A nor chat, Maria. So that's
yeah.
good.
So let's open in case they wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, if you've got any questions about what you've seen, you can either type them into the chat window, the Q&A window, or if you feel like you want to be able to vocalize it, I would be happy to unmute you. Just know that I see a list of phone numbers, so if you'd like to speak, you just have to tell me where you're calling from, so that I can unmute you. And I think I see Marco back in, so let me try bringing him back as a presenter. Marco?
Hello. Sorry, I hope this is the last time. Yeah.
Okay. Marco, do you want to close out? I don't know if you had any further comments because we're at the bottom of the hour.
I think that I've shown nearly everything. The only last thing I can show you, and it's directly means something quickly. Of course, together with the activation with a similar command, you can also deactivate an ETL. So you can use this if, for example, there is a problem or you don't want anymore to customer to instantiate instances of this ETL. You can also run this command, and this will perform the deactivation flow that is possible in the Integration Studio. For anything else, you can refer to the documentation. And again, sorry for all this trouble with the phone. Thank you for watching this.
Yes, thank you, Marco. So we do have a couple of questions.
So can you make me presenter set so that I have the last few slides while we are getting the questions?
Yes. Okay, so I'm doing that right now, Maria. So we do have one question do we have Mac compatibility? So I guess that's a question of whether or not the command line utility that you've shown here can run on a Mac versus Linux and Windows.
Marco, can you take that?
That's a good one. We are not tested it on Mac. The command line utility is, just running the Java process, so it could work, but we didn't test it on Mac. So it could work, but it's not a perfect scenario at the moment.
Okay. That was Samir. And then Matthew asks, are project numbers used? I don't understand that question, but maybe you do.
Project ID, something like that.
Oh, it's the question that is appearing on the chat, if the internal model ID will be kept across the different environment. No, basically the different environment will have its own different identifier, but they are not going to clash in any way. So you can manage both environments. It's not like with the Integration Studio that if you had an Integration Studio connected to an environment, then you connect to the other, you have some problem. Here, everything will be separated one from the other, and it's going to work.
Okay, that was a question from Paul. Yes. Okay, so can this coexist with Integration Studio?
Yes.
Okay.
As we said, we are not dropping Integration Studio. We are dropping support for Perl in Integration Studio.
Gotcha. Okay.
Go
ahead.
No, I was just saying that all the operations that could be done with Integration Studio and Perl ETL are now possible with the ADK. So we don't have support in Integration Studio for Perl, but the ADK is providing everything for Perl language.
Okay. Question from Samir, does the JRE need to be 32 or 64-bit, or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. Both are going to work, 32 or 64-bit, and it can be 1.8 or greater version.
Okay. So let's see. I'm looking at.
So in the meantime, I'm showing a slide which is related to some non-objection, like you remove the support for Perl Integration Studio. Doesn't mean that you remove support for Perl in general. As we said, the Perl continues to be fully supported by using the ETL Development Kit. So that's one. And all the operations that were available in the Integration Studio are now available in the ETL Development Kit. So every action can be executed in there with version 11.501. Until 11.0, the creation and then compilation and packaging were supported in there.
Okay. Uh-oh. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. And my session here is frozen, so I hope that's not screwing up the rest of this recording. There was a question about can DL be set up for ETL underscore editor role to manage who has the ability to generate API keys?
So can you repeat the question?
Can DL be set up for ETL underscore editor role to manage who has the ability to generate API keys?
No. So there is another activity that is deciding who can generate API keys, and is basically the same one that allows the user to edit roles. So you need an administrator to generate API keys. You cannot be an ETL editor and generate API keys. You need an administrator with the capability to edit roles and assign them to the user.
Okay. So Maria, my WebEx is frozen on my end, so I can't see the any more questions. There were a couple more in the chat window.
Okay, let me check.
Can you take a look and?
Sure. So in the chat window.
This has just been a terrible technology day for us across the board.
Okay, let's see. Is Integration Studio the recommended solution for developing Java ETL? That's one, I think.
Yep.
No, why we're saying that? No, I mean Java ETLs can be created with both. It's not the recommended one. Mark, I'm not sure if you want to talk more.
Of course, you can continue to use the Integration Studio, and we continue to support it. We are just opening to new capabilities. So if you don't like the Eclipse environment, but you like IntelliJ the IDEA, for example, for Java, then you can also use IntelliJ IDEA. And the ADK is providing all the things that were once upon a time only available inside the Integration Studio. They can now be accessed from the command line, so they can be brought nearly everywhere. They can be put in a Jenkins job, for example, so you can maybe develop an ETL, put its code on Git, and then when you do a commit, automatically you trigger a CI/CD pipeline that is compiling, packaging, and let me say, activating the ETL in a development environment. So you can immediately go in the development environment and see the ETL running. So it's opening new capability. It's not saying if you want, you can continue with Integration Studio, but now you have also other options.
Okay.
Well, I think, I mean, the other question is really related again to the fact that, you know, we are maintaining or not the identifier for modules between environments. When promoting ETL to different environments with the internal modules ID will be maintained across those environments. I believe it's no, right, as we said before.
Yeah. And there was also, I think, a question about Git integration. I'm not sure if that makes sense to address here or not. Do we have the documentation on how to do that?
I don't see that question. It's in the Q&A?
No, it was in the chat window the last time I saw.
Oh, okay, because I'm not seeing that. I don't see that one.
Okay. Well, we can, if you have that question around Git integration, what have you, please feel free to follow up in communities when we post the recording. If, in fact, the recording survives this spinning wheel of death that I have on my computer for the WebEx session. So
yeah, let me recap here. we are offering, in addition to the recording of this session, we are also offering additional learning tools that you can leverage. So product documentation, there is a specific section devoted to the ETL Development Kit for creating custom ETLs modules. In addition, the product trials, which is being updated every release. Also, how-to videos playlist for TrueSight Capacity Optimization, which is going to include additional videos as soon as we have more content to include as part of 11.501 release, and the corporate web page, which is bnc.com/capacity. Thanks, Seth, for hosting the session. I think everyone can reach out to you in case of questions, and you will be rerouting to us.
Absolutely. So thank you, Maria. Thank you, Marco, for the presentation. Thanks, everybody, for hanging on and dealing with all the technical issues and bringing your questions and comments. Let's not